What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWestry Raw TV. I got a link today from Instagram, and you know what? We're gonna do this fucking straight. I mean, I wish I could see this person face to face right now, but I'm not gonna fucking fly out there to do this because that's just fucking stupid. So at an expo or whatever, when we see each other face to face, we'll talk about it, maybe or maybe not. But it's not shots fired. But if you want to consider it that, fuck it. It's just the truth. Layne Norton put up a post today about sweeteners. Now, he puts up this thing about, like, you know, the fear, stop the fear mongering and da-da-da. Layne has been very vocal over the last, I don't know how long, about basically there is all these myths out there trying to scare people into eating cleaner foods. And I'm not really sure where that comes from. Like, nobody's trying to scare anybody. People are trying to say the fucking truth. And what Layne likes to do is say, studies this, studies that. Layne, I think you're being very irresponsible to the people that you're preaching to, or to your consumers, your followers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. You're being very irresponsible by saying stuff like sweeteners don't matter, saying stuff like, well, it doesn't matter, like, as long as you're hitting your calories, calories are all that matters. Layne, you're speaking to America, okay? America is the most unhealthy country in the entire fucking world. Period. We have more diabetes, more heart disease, more fucking everything that's wrong with us. We have fucking food allergies. We have all kinds of shit going on in this country. And you're going to tell me that you honestly think it's because people are just eating too much macros. That's fucking bullshit. What you preach is the IAF wham thing because you want people to eat all the fucking crappy foods. And yeah, I'm going to call them crappy. You know why? It's not because they have sugar in them, Layne. It's because they have fucking chemicals. Look up a fucking Oreo. Look up the other shit. Look up the fucking chemicals that are in Chick-fil-A. Look up those chemicals. And just because this says, well, you know, you're not eating enough of them consistently to actually cause any problems, you're putting fucking chemicals that are known carcinogens and that do damage to your fucking body, and you think that, like, maybe you're not putting in large amounts of them, but the people you're talking to are, okay? You might be able to stop eating 2 Oreos and count them into your macros. You're talking to people that are going to eat a whole fucking bag of, or a whole box, whatever they fucking come in nowadays, of Oreos every fucking day because you said it's okay to fit the fucking box of Oreos into your macros. Completely disregarding the chemicals in them that can fuck you up. Think about this. The other countries out there right now that don't have the issues we have. They don't have the obesity issue. Now, granted, we eat too much, but you ever stop and think the chemicals in the food are triggering your fucking brain to make you to want to eat more? If I sit down and I eat some free-range fucking grass-fed chicken and some broccoli, and I sit down and I have some rice with it, and I put some macadamia nut oil and I have that meal, I'm not hungry for another 2 to 3 hours. However, there are a lot of people out there that eat whatever, and then they, oh, I want a slice of pizza too, and I want some cake too, and they keep fucking eating. Why? Because their brain is getting a signal to keep eating, okay? It's the chemicals in the food. How the fuck can you honestly sit there, and it might be a money thing, okay? I'm not accusing you, but it might be a money thing because you like to sell your programs based on eat whatever the fuck you want, no limitations, it's okay to do this, it's okay to do that. That's what you're selling, right? So for you to step back and say the chemicals in the food might be harmful, it's going to kind of run into that business plan that you got there, right? I mean, granted, you may be a doctor, an expert on leucine and branched-chain amino acids, etc., but you are not a food additive chemical expert or doctor or scientist or professor or anything like that, right? So why aren't you talking about, hey, you know, these sweeteners in this food, it takes this much to do this with the sweeteners for you to have any kind. I saw the post, right? Did you ever stop and think that maybe those sweeteners in certain people, like specifically the ones that are in Diet Coke, can cause an inflammatory response in the body, okay? A high inflammatory response to the body in people that you're telling them that's okay because you're gonna go have 4 ounces of Diet Coke. These fuckers you're talking to on the camera that you're being completely irresponsible giving out the information to are gonna go drink a fucking 2-liter bottle every day of this shit, okay? You're not mindful of who your consumers are. You're not telling the truth because let's face facts, those chemicals that are in the food are harmful. And we see the fucking disease in this country. And don't give me this shit, it's not about obesity. We have tons of fucking diseases in this country that are not in other countries by far, and it's our food. Layne, you've traveled the world, right? You've been places. Matter of fact, you've been to Australia. That's where your girlfriend's from, right? I've been to Australia. I've eaten the food there. Big fucking difference between a chicken breast there and here. Big difference between Nando's in Australia and Nando's here. Completely different food. You know why? The chemicals. The bullshit chemicals. The shitty food that we're fed here in America. And it's, you know, it bothers me, Layne. I'm not going to lie. It bothers the fuck out of me. You and I have been, in the past, not seen eye to eye. And I'm not mad now with the shit you're saying, but it's irresponsible and it's not the truth. The truth is, these food that you recommend, okay, let's just be honest. Maybe you can get away with hitting the macros and looking good. But that does not mean the food that you're putting in your fucking body is not poison, doesn't have poison in it, doesn't cause illness, doesn't cause ill health effects, doesn't cause long-term problems in the future that you're not even thinking about. Maybe you haven't seen it, maybe you haven't really thought about it, I don't know what the fucking problem is, but to sit there and say stuff like, it's only the calories that matter, and you shouldn't be worried about this and you shouldn't fear that. Layne, I come from an unhealthy family. I come from a family where people didn't worry about chemicals in the food, where they drank the high fucking sugar sodas constantly, okay? And the people in my family are not obese, okay? By any way, shape, or form. My parents, my fucking aunts, my uncles. However, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, you fucking name it, all runs in my family from the foods that they ate. My grandfather, who passed away at 96 fucking years old, was on his exercise bike in front of his TV the week before he fucking died, keeping his legs strong, doing his cardio. 96. Didn't eat the foods that the rest of my family ate. He only ate food that fucking he grew on his farm and that he traded with other people. He's old school Portuguese, so they do trading. That had food that they raised that was drug-free, hormone-free, etc. 96, still doing cardio and stuff. Didn't have diabetes, didn't have the cholesterol problems, didn't have anything wrong with him. The only difference between him, and he's genetically, he's got the outliers the rest of my family does. The only difference, the fucking food. Take it for what it's worth, take it for shots fired. You want to have a debate, you want to have a discussion, I don't give a fuck. But the bottom line is to say that the chemicals in the food don't fucking matter, and all that matters is hitting your calories, is irresponsible as fuck. I'm BioStreet and I approve this message, and we are